Hi pals, it's me Artie, there, pronouns only, and Happy New Year? Question mark. I've been having another mental wobbly again recently. Obviously the world is a big reason for that, and how terrifying things just are, and how many aspects of which I will have to bleep out because it's so early in me recording this video, are openly accepted in even into marginalised communities and places like COVID cautious communities, disability or trans spaces as well. You know, the people who deem themselves on the left are and have been for a while spouting a lot of misinformation the same way that right-wingers have done for forever, and it just makes me feel quite anxious and concerned overall. But also it's hard when you get some health wins and then also some not so great health stuff. 2024 was the start of a new medication that I am tolerating well for my Takayasu's, but it was also when, you know, I basically ended 2024 with a reasonably mild Crohn's flare-up after like 2 or more years of basically no blips or flares or markers in tests. You know, I also finally got through to a specialist cardiologist, but I also feel like that we are getting nowhere and they are not doing many tests before my appointment towards the end of 2025. I have finally gotten my PAs in place to start supporting me, but it is still taking a lot of time to actually feel like they are taking on the stresses I have and helping to lessen the amount of stress that I have going on. I've obviously as well been lowering steroids, and that has also led to me seeing a more familiar face in the mirror again after so many years being on them with Moonface. However, they have also kind of just possibly permanently changed my body in ways that I don't really know how to deal with, and I don't know if they're permanent changes, which makes dealing with them even more difficult. It's hard to know when to start grieving something, when to start accepting something, if you don't know if it's a permanent state that you're in, because yeah, there is still that possibility that we just don't know where things will end up. This last year I've also finally seen somebody in allergy. I've seen an allergy specialist who was not only kind and understanding and honest. This is also something I want to try and make a video just talking about that experience so far, or as it's progressing, but he also put me on high dose antihistamines that I have noticed a difference in some of my allergy kind of responses, but also looking into MCAS and like H1, 2, 3, 4, whatever blockers and their roles, I feel like I could possibly need to be on something else as well for H2 blockers and not just H1 blockers. And also the issue of not really knowing for a while when I was going to see any dermatologist, but I do have an appointment with the community dermatologist at the end-ish, I think, of January. I've forgotten the exact date, which is also a lot faster than expected. Yeah, like most people talk about that wait list being a year or more long, but I must have had the referral in November, October-ish time, so to be seen at all, let alone like, yeah, I don't know if this is the right person to be seeing or if it's just like an intake kind of staff member maybe, but yeah, seeing someone from a service that you've only just been referred to a few months ago, that's fast for what the UK has been, even though I think it's still somewhere around like the 18 plus weeks or whatever that's meant to have been the the maximum wait time back in the day, that they still haven't changed in any NHS policies. Yeah, I also just had a bit of a mental wobbly because of a symptom that I feel like I've kind of come to a conclusion now, but I couldn't for a long time work out where exactly this symptom was coming from, or what to do about it, or who to see. The symptom is excess sweating, and it's often when I'm even not really doing much. It's not when I'm laying down, it's not overnight, so it's not night sweats, but it'll be if I'm just sitting up making a video or making crafts or, you know, making my artwork for my business, or if I popped into town and I'm walking around a little bit. I have had some revelations which don't really give me much hope. I think that it is likely a post-COVID / long COVID symptom, as I have realised how long I've been dealing with this symptom matches up with my first and only confirmed case of COVID 2.5 years ago. Yeah, I feel like it's unlikely to be taken seriously. And the options of managing it aren't really straightforward because of my health conditions, my medications I'm on, but it disrupts a lot of my life. You know, like I just said, just doing things at home or just quickly popping into town, which don't really require a lot of energy, my body just seems to freak out. And I already have generally just issues with temperature regulation, which has some links to my need for high dose antihistamines as well, which is one of the reasons why this is not so straightforward either. I've not got great circulation, I never have done. I've always had cold hands and feet, but now even more so with Takayasu's. You know, I will just start sweating if I'm sat up for too long, and it's just exhausting. All of my underwear, my clothes just get drenched. My face will be sweating as well, like it's full body sweating. And that requires more showers, more changing of clothes, which I just don't really have the energy or time for as a multiply disabled, chronically ill person. Going into town or for a gentle stroll and then being this sweaty, you know, is one thing, but sitting upright, just sitting upright in bed or on the floor, on the sofa for too long, like it's just a bit pathetic. Really, it's like, why can't I just sit? I can't even sit, mate. I can't even sit. It makes my skin chafe if I don't deal with it. If I'm out and it happens, I can't really deal with it, or I have to like pre-prepare by stuffing scrap cloth in my underwear to try and like soak up some of that sweat. And then I'll get cold if I stay in the same clothes or can't change, because, you know, obviously I eventually cool off, but I'm still wet from being sweaty. So that's like kind of the health side of things of the last year and coming into 2025. And then I feel kind of the same when it comes to my art business and my YouTube as well. Like I feel like when I get a win, there's like an equal knockback around the corner, and I'm just so tired. You know, I was proud of what I had managed to do alone for my art business, but then had a chat with another artist friend, and whilst I have no, you know, I don't have any intentional negative feelings towards them or other artist friends or other artists in general who are doing better than me, it was just frustrating and a bit saddening that no matter what exactly it is that I personally do with my business, it doesn't make the impact that it needs to make or that other people are expecting. You know, I've had a few of my friends tell me that I should up my art prices, and I know and understand that I make and sell work for people who can't afford more expensive artwork and stickers and whatever. Like, that's kind of the whole point of what I do and have been doing. So I sell a lot of things low intentionally, but also because I either already have the supplies or the cost of getting those supplies is so low, pardon me, I like just don't need to be charging more if the sales are okay. But the sales are spotty, you know, and like, yeah, it's mostly my time and like some full price or expensive materials that I really need to cover. But like, even when it comes to making my stickers, like the printing doesn't really cost much per sticker. So like, yeah, I get my work is cheap, but people have shown time and time again that they like the cheap bits, because those are the things that sell the most when I am at markets or like that. Those are usually the things I stock in shops in the UK. Mainly it's my stickers and my original art pieces, and then a couple of like random art projects and the amulets that I started selling at one of the markets towards the end of last year. But like, when I do make larger or more expensive pieces that take more of my time and take more of my materials, or require that I actually buy things new if I can't access them secondhand, etc. Like, I purposefully try to make certain things that are higher cost items to kind of even those things out a bit. But like, when I make those, they don't sell. Like my log slice wall hangings and my upcycled home decor sort of signs, they rarely sell. So I don't really know what I should be upping the price of exactly. People compliment all of those pieces a lot. Every time I'm at a market, it's constantly those items that are getting compliments and people touching them and looking at them, but they just don't really sell at markets, and so far not really online, except from a few direct DMs on Instagram. And if my cheaper work is also struggling to sell now, whereas it wasn't maybe a few months ago or a year ago, I just don't really know what it is that I should be doing. Because to me, logically, I'm pricing these things either around the right sort of price point or a little bit cheaper. So I don't, like, people's advice on those things hasn't really made any sense to me, and it's frustrating. And I think I've made one of my end of year blog posts where I talked about what was going to be the plan for Artie is Artie in this next year, kind of addresses some of those things. And there is another blog post that I have been working on that's kind of just undressing what different kinds of creators online have to deal with when it comes to trying to be successful. Mainly SEO, but also there's a few other things too. Lots of things have changed on the internet, and it makes it a lot harder if you don't have the money to invest in certain ads or schemes that are now just available to most people. And also, everybody always tells me to join Etsy or make an online store properly, like a website or whatever, but like, I genuinely cannot rationalize doing either of those things when I rarely make sales online, especially through like proper means, i.e. like my Depop or eBay or Vinted or whatever. Most of my sales online really are through just like direct messaging on Instagram, and none of my sales are regular enough to be worth the cost that comes with doing your own website or a Shopify or Etsy, especially with a lot of Etsy's hidden fees that a lot of people have been discussing over the last few years. And I think Etsy generally has gone downhill a lot and is mostly dropshippers. Like, how would I be competing with that when I'm nothing like a dropshipper? I don't have that ease of just do. So yeah, like, I just can't justify the fees of a special proper like online shop. You know, like, it's cool to say things like I have my work for sale in 7 real life shops, which is soon to be down to 6 because one of them is no longer going to be maintaining their retail section. So yeah, it'll be 6 soon. You know, like, it's a cool thing to say that, and I think that is one of my larger focuses of 2025 for my business in particular, because usually my work sells relatively well if I find the right shops for them to be in, but it just requires so much admin time to research the shops, contact the shops, or wait for them to have their call out for new artists or whatever, it depends on the place. Having those conversations, discussing like commission cuts, postage, when payment's done, how, whether it's wholesale buying right away or paying you month by month as stock sells, yeah, other things like that. And then also chasing everyone. I think it is unsurprising to say, just generally to most people, that yeah, as a freelance creator, I spend a lot of my time chasing people who have my stock and haven't paid me in a while or contacted me back. And it's all just exhausting, which is why in 2025 I am hiring a freelance virtual assistant to support me with my business specifically. At the moment, the aim for that is like maybe 1 to 2 hours per month through the year. I think it'll probably be a few extra hours to start because there's, you know, got to lay a lot of things out and she's got to work out how to do things that I want done in a certain way, and, you know, spreadsheets and all that sort of thing. So, but like I'm looking at 1 or 2 hours a month to begin with and see how that goes and if that helps. But yeah, because mainly I need somebody to chase my stockists every month to make sure that I'm being paid, and also to ask if they want or need a restock of anything, because that's then the other thing I chase a lot and don't often get responses for. And because I just have so much going on in my life with just my health, social life, personal things, YouTube and other parts of the art business too, I'm just like too busy a lot of the times to remember to chase and check. So a lot of the times people slip through the cracks because they haven't replied and I have been too busy with other things going on. And then as well, when it comes to YouTube, you already know I had that dip in views and I'm still kind of fighting through that. Sort of, yeah, around the last third-ish of 2024 that began because just like my views took a huge hit for unknown reasons, which I did speculate on in my last blog post of 2024. Wait, did I? Or is that in the post that I haven't posted yet? That might be in the post I haven't posted yet. Both, maybe? Anyway, it's taken months to kind of claw myself back out of there, but also I still haven't fully recovered from that, and I'm still trying to progress with improving on the watch time so I can finally fucking make partner. 4,000 watch hours is the aim, and we're at somewhere just over 2,000 watch hours, so you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, watch my other videos, stick on a playlist, send it to your friends. Thanks. And like, yeah, just generally over the holidays I've been trying to mentally and physically have a bit of a reset, because I have definitely felt very hypervigilant, feel very restless and unable to really rest and relax. I constantly feel like I have to be doing something. So I've been really trying to force myself to not feel that way, trying to disconnect from that feeling. So I have been on a bit of a stock making roll through the holidays, doing a bit of everything really. It's kind of for like a mixture of reasons. One of them is I enjoy making stuff that's also a little bit mindless in a way, and I can listen or watch something else at the same time. But also everything is a mess at home. Like, I feel like after Christmas, after New Year, most people's homes are kind of a mess in a way that they weren't before. But the mess before that has been worsened. Everything just needs to find a place, and it just doesn't have a place. Part of me making stuff was that I wanted to be able to at least put things away. I don't know. So like in the next few weeks is where I'm also going to be trying to sort out some kind of current at home storage a bit better for my artwork and art supplies. But like, I've been making patches, amulets, new art pieces, and also art pieces in a new size, because I am running low on the usual size. So any of my friends out there, if you've got the usual size of film photographs, which is roughly A6-ish, slightly smaller, that you don't want, please let me know and send them to me. Thanks, babe. I found out over the, I don't know if it was over the holiday or just before, but finally Brighton has its own mask block now. So I'd like to spend some time helping them out a bit more, because I feel like people really underestimate COVID, just full stop. I still underestimate COVID, and I try to be cautious. So yeah, I kind of wanted to help by, you know, making some Instagram graphics. Maybe we would make some zines, help them fundraise, donate some of my artwork, doing a raffle or whatever, you know. And also generally I wanted to make some more informative videos and blog posts and stuff with their help. So maybe that will also be happening on here and on my blog, to kind of discuss the things that a lot of American mask block accounts and stuff talk about, but because America uses different names and words for a lot of things, it doesn't really translate very well to just the average UK public population. The person behind the mask blog has more of an understanding of that stuff. So yeah, hopefully we can help each other to then help everybody else out there, because I am concerned with the state of our country, our world, because of COVID. You know, it's a lot. And honestly, I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I'm not sleeping super great. Taking my ADHD meds is all over the place. I'm sleeping in a lot. I'm in a lot of pain. So much chest pain. I'm hoping it's the weather. Please tell me it's just the weather, because it's now really cold again. Hold on, I'm gonna drink my tea that I probably won't like. That actually wasn't too bad. I mixed 2 teas together. Anyway, but yeah, so like I was trying really hard to rest, and I'm still trying really hard to take some moments to rest and not do like stuff, which is really hard as a creative, especially with ADHD, but just generally a creative, because you just get ideas at all times. And if I get an idea when I've got energy, I will sit and research or start writing, and then I never get my rest. The things I've been trying to use to help force me to rest, which I might also just turn into a separate video, separate blog post, is I was watching Scum, because I finally got given an actually working link for once. All of the old links on the old Google Doc just don't work. And they also just don't, like, especially the other countries just do not work. This one works. So I got to watch Scum France, and I say that I'm using things like this as a way to relax because they are captioned or subtitled. You kind of have to, you can't do other things when they're not speaking English at the same time as the captions, okay? Like I can kind of like do multiple things if the TV show I'm watching is in English with captions, because the captions help me catch words here and there that I can't catch, but it's not the case when they're speaking a language I barely know. So you kind of have to do nothing else, or at least nothing else that requires taking your eyes off the screen. A while ago I was watching the Italian one and I gave up eventually because they got boring. I have done the same with the France one, because yes, they also get boring after a while when they no longer centre one of the main group, in my opinion. But also I have been trying to play some video games. Okay, I've only been playing one video game. I was lying, multiple video games is not correct, but I have mainly been playing Life is Strange Before the Storm. And again, that's one where you can't really do other things, because I've been playing it on a Switch as well. I can't remember what the controls are like for other platforms, but you know, you've got both hands are busy and are required to play the game, but also you have to pay attention to what people are saying, and some of the things are timed. So again, you can't just be casually doing or watching something else at the same time. So yeah, it's trying to okay, that was a bit more tart that time. I've got a few other games and I've bought a few other games. I just haven't gotten to playing them because it is very difficult for me to do nothing. And then, yeah, like I said, been making art, and then I've been stuck in my depop and whatever, but like, yeah, trying to force myself to only actively engage in one activity at a time is so très difficile. Honestly, très difficile. When it comes to January, some things that are coming up or will have probably happened by the time this video goes up. I have my repeat MRA for my tracheostomy, and that's probably already happened. Hopefully it'll be better than last time because it will be with my usual MRI team. Like I said, I do have my PAs in place now, and I am experimenting with like what works best to support me and my needs. Like I said, seeing dermatology later in the month, and hopefully my GP as well, so we can discuss the sweating again and maybe trial some meds. Because I am allergic to the prescription strength antiperspirant, because I've tried the roll-on before and my skin did not like it. So are we surprised I'm on high dose antihistamines? Are we surprised? I am not. I'm also trying to get into a regular routine just generally in my life, but also specifically with reformer Pilates, because that is my current exercise fixation. I started last year, but I have only really made it to, I think, 3 sessions total, because my life is crazy and very busy. But also I didn't want to, you know, go ham and then just never carry on. So a lot of it was testing the waters, seeing how I felt afterwards, seeing how my body responded. And luckily, the first time was the only time where I had a really bad post-exertional malaise response, where I basically couldn't get out of bed for 2.5 days. But the 2 following that were fine. Like, yes, I was tired afterwards, but I was okay. So I have booked in for 2 sessions a month. I can only book up until the end of February, so it's only 4 sessions. But yeah, I paid for a block, which knocked off a few pounds, not a lot, but I would like to aim for at least once a month in 2025, but ideally twice a month would be great. And then also, yeah, as per my life, I booked all of these, paid for that block, and then they were like, hey, here's a New Year's gift, here's half price, which is cheaper than what I've paid for the, like, even with the block. So now I have to go and fucking cancel one of them to then rebook with the half off offer. This is the second time they've done that to me. After my first session, I was like, you know what, yeah, I'll book in for another one. And then the day after I'd booked, they were like, thanks for joining us for the first time ever, here's half off. And I was like, you fucking kidding? So yeah, annoyingly, I've got to go sort that out now.
This ended up getting worse because as I was sorting this out, I realised that the block of 10 that I bought had an expiry of 4 months' time. That was not stated anywhere, and I went and checked before purchasing. It just didn't say it anywhere. And obviously I'd bought 10 with the intention of going like twice a month, and then having that half off offer as well. And so after the half off offer, that means I used 3 of my 10, so I still had 7 to use. But because of the expiry date being 4 months from when you bought it, I bought it on like the 22nd of December, and obviously they were closed for like a week or 2 because it was Christmas and New Year. Their website's not good either. It's really, really bad and hard to use. Everything is hidden. Like, it's not an easy way to just log in. It's not an easy way to just actually buy these bundles. It's very difficult to do all this stuff. So I was highlighting to them like, yeah, you know, thanks, I've done and booked in the half off offer, but here are some issues I have with your website, but also I've just noticed whilst doing this process, this expiry date thing, which is not going to work for me. Because I mean, you didn't say that any expiry before purchasing. They don't say it until it's sent to you or it's in your like account on their website, and that's very not chill, guys? What do you mean? So like I was giving the feedback mostly just to be like, I really like coming here, but the website's really hard to use, and also what the fuck when it comes to the expiry on the bulk whatever session purchases. And I was like, you know, the way this goes, I would lose out on 3 of those sessions, which is £66. And their response I knew was going to be something that upset me more. I don't know who the person is that replied. I think he's just an admin person or the admin side of this small business. Yeah, like they did extend my bundle whatever expiry date to June instead, so hopefully that should be completely fine. But they said that I am I'm not that I'm complaining, but like my issues are with their booking system, not with their website. And I was like, no, it's both. If you actually read what I sent to you, it's both. Like they were quite defensive about the comment I made where I said that I basically lost out on 2 weeks because, you know, they were closed. Like that's, I bought my thing on the 22nd of December not knowing there was a expiry and not knowing that this would start immediately. And I was just making the example of, look, I've already lost 2 weeks of the 4 months because it was over Christmas and New Year. You guys weren't even open. And they took that in the way that I knew they were going to take that, even though it's literally not what I said. But yeah, they got defensive about it being like it's important for people to have breaks for their well-being. I'm like, obviously, like, do you think I want to go to Pilates over Christmas and New Year? I've eaten way too much food to even stand up. Hello? Like, that wasn't the point at all. And I feel like this always happens when I send emails like this to people. And it's just really frustrating to me because, like, I am a service user who likes the service itself but struggles to use the service because of like the booking system or the website. And if you're going to forget to include information about an expiry date, that's definitely a you issue that could get you into a lot of legal problems. And also it's just frustrating as well, always pulling the we're a small business card. It's like, I'm aware of that. That's why I like coming here, because there's maximum of 6 people doing the class, 7 people total in the room. It's a good location for me to get to, where I can also park, you know. And I have my own small business that I have to take breaks from for my well-being. So yeah, it's just frustrating that I want to help them make this experience easier for me and other people to be able to use their service and participate in their classes, but the response is always just the assumption that I mean you shouldn't have a holiday ? Like, why do people always assume that that's what I mean when I literally didn't say it at all? And they also do gift card versions of bulk buying classes. So do those also have the same expiry date? Because if they do, then that kind of sucks, to be honest. Imagine someone has bought you this expensive bulk of classes for Christmas or your birthday or something, and they bought it a bit in advance, and now you have like 2 months or 3 months to fit in these classes that you want to do and are expensive, but might not be able to fit into that time because it was a surprise gift or something. Like, you know, I don't know, I'm just so exhausted with speaking to people, and this is always the problem I have. So just wanted to add further story about that.
And yeah, they were like, you have to use it up by the end of February. I'm like, I've booked to the end of February. Why am I punished for being, I can't think what the word is. I'm not enthusiastic, but like responsible, you know, fuck off. And yeah, I've also given my hair a little spruce. I was giving it a rest because my mum had surgery, so she couldn't help me do my hair. To be fair, I did this by myself anyway, but sometimes I need help because of my wanky arms. I did dye my hair recently, like a couple of days ago. I did have to redo the blue today, and I mean, it's still not completely great because there's definitely some spots that are still a bit light, but it'll do. It's better than it was before I topped it up today. But yeah, it was making me depressed looking at my growing out grey roots out the top of my head, out the side of my head. And yeah, I've had 2 bad hairdressers in a row say they can bleach my naturally very dark hair, because like, I didn't do this part, so you can kind of see that is naturally how dark my hair is. It is pretty much this dark. Everyone says my hair's black. It ain't. It's just very dark brown. You know, they say that they can bleach it so that I can dye it or colour it or whatever, and they've seen my hair at that sort of those blonder, whiter moments that, you know, you've seen me here. And then they just kind of chicken out and leave me with yellow roots that no hair colour will stick to, and no toner will tone down, and the toner then sticks to the rest of it that has been dyed properly, bleached properly, and then ruins the blondie colours I've had. And every time I have to fix it myself, which then obviously gets all over the rest of the hair again, or needs to be put over the rest of the hair again because of the fucking purple shampoos sticking to the blonde. So the last time this happened, I really fried my hair, which I think I have talked about in one of those videos around that time. Yeah, the actual quality of my hair is, at least in the front, is a mess. A lot of it did break off, and also the last woman like dyed over quite a bit of the bleached parts, which I don't know why she did that. So I have much less on one side than the other. So I'm like trying to grow a lot of the dye out in the front areas so that I can basically redo it when it's better and it won't be as fried, because my hair has never been this fried before. And I've bleached my hair a lot, babes. My friend Annie, who has very thick, very dark hair, has said the same thing. But actually she had a hairdresser who said, yeah, if you want to bleach your hair, don't let us do it. Don't let a hairdresser do it, because they won't do it properly because your hair's so dark. You're better off doing it at home and you'll be able to do it. I was like, yeah, literally, I've never had problems like this. I just wanted to treat myself, which is also a video I've been debating on making or not, about how like disabled people are just not allowed to have anything nice. You know, I just wanted somebody else to do it for me so that I could rest, not have all the problems I have with my arms. But 2 people in a row have failed me when it really shouldn't be that difficult. Either you say you can do it and you do it, or you admit you have limitations and can't. A lot of the times they don't actually put heat on it, so it's uneven, like unevenly bleached. Yeah, so like it's not been looking or feeling great anyway. I had to buy some really expensive hair serums to kind of look after it for a while. But yeah, so I left it all to rest. I was like, yeah, I don't think I should be dyeing the front of it for a while, let it chill. But it just didn't look sleek or nice. It looked dry and a little bit fried. I made that decision of, you know, at least if I do my roots, which is not a problem at all, doesn't cause any frying, and then if I dyed the bleach, you know, one of my other signature colours, this particular shade of blue, which I thought was the Superdrug brand, but it actually ends up being Schwarzkopf. Didn't realise that. But yeah, if I dyed the blonde bits with the blue usually, like, you can see it starts off quite dark-ish, especially with the rest of my hair, so it kind of blend in a bit better with the dark roots I've got. Also, my greys have finally reached the front of my head. I've been looking and she's getting grey. I mean, it might not look so obvious actually, because I tried to dye them blue. I didn't get all the front bits because I was trying not to get too close to where I want to bleach it, so there are still some grey roots going on, but I was trying to colour the roots blue to see if that would look kind of slate, but I can't really tell. But yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe this will just look a bit nicer, and it does. I feel happier. However, my hair feels fried again because I've dyed it, so it's back. I was about to say back on the liqueur or back on the licorice. That neither of those is correct. I said the word just now. What is it? Or the serum. That's the one. Back to the hair serum for me. So I have put some on, and it does feel okay. And then I think the final thing I have to say or even think about for 2025 is I hope that with the support of my PAs, both like taking some of that stress off me and helping me organise some stuff, will then lead to me being able to actually go and do or try these activities I wanted to try for years, and I've had in my journals for years to want to try, that I just never get round to because it requires the same kind of labour beforehand as medical admin, which is just so much admin. Why? Like, nobody understands me, and I don't understand them. Everyone's got a shitty website that doesn't work. If you've got a website, make sure it fucking works. I'm like, I've had enough. Can't use anyone's websites because you can't make them. But like, so yeah, like it all gets way too overwhelming, or like trying to find places nearby or how to get there and where they are and how much things cost, and trying to decide what's better to go to here or blah blah blah. Like it gets all too much, especially when I just want to go and do some of these things to either just try something out or just have some fun or just, you know, get out some tension. You know, I want to go to a f***ing rage room, man. Give me a rage room. I am on my ADHD meds, by the way. Like, actively they are in my system working. So I've been alone for a while, so maybe that's why I am not well. Also, I'm alone this weekend. That's why I'm in a different spot. I thought this would have been more light. I hate the winter. The only light we have is so dim. Sorry, anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so like I had that discussion with one of my PAs yesterday from when I'm filming about how that is something that I will want her to do / help me with. Because like it's just impossible doing all of that when you have 15 full-time jobs, basically. The full-time job of being a sick person, the full-time job of being the sick person's secretary, the full-time job of being my own business manager, and then also the full-time job of being the creative. And I'm not being paid enough for any of them, okay? I'm not being paid enough for any of them. I need to send her my list of those things because she can do some of that research when I no longer really need her to necessarily do bits and pieces for my medical admin. But we are still very much in the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Oh my god, how old is that meme? 3 years? 4? That was TikTok, and I haven't used that in a while. I don't know what I was saying now. I got distracted by that. Yeah, we're still in the thick of it with trying to start the process of making medical admin easier. And one of those, the main thing I literally started like maybe a few weeks before Christmas, was to tell everybody that I will now have a PA and would like to include people as the people who can speak on my behalf without me there and whatever. And as per, zero surprise, there's been a variation of responses. Some of them have said, thanks for the letter, we'll add that to the files. And that was it. Easy peasy. Others have said, can you give us more details so we can find the patient? Others have replied with something else, and then they've gone, oh, well, they have to fill in a form and send it to us first. And it's like, well, why didn't you f***ing say that before asking for like more information as well? Just send us the form to fill in, because like I knew there would be forms to fill in, because there always are, because I have already filled in a form like this once before. So like I knew some people would have this like requirement, which is fine. That was the point. But I also knew these bitches wouldn't just send me the forms. So that's why that's why that was the first thing on my list to get sorted, was like to initiate this process so that further down the line it won't be a faff to do because it's done already, you know. So yeah, that's kind of generally a bit of a chaotic reflections of 2024 and me crawling into 2025. I really feel like at this moment in time I do not have the capacity to rest and relax, and I am worried. I'm worried for myself. I did buy myself some new glasses, by the way, so soon I'll have some sexy new glasses that I'll be wearing more often because they are big enough to fit my fucking huge noggin of a head. But also they're lighter weight, very similar in style, just slightly different colour. I will probably still wear these because I do love them. However, I've had enough of my head being squeezed, you know. One of my dreams, I want to be a glasses designer. I want to design a business that can sort out your fucking glasses so they fit your head. I've had enough. I've had enough. Big head, small nose. Like, actually, child nose. People struggle to fit my glasses on my nose because it's tiny. Anyway, I'm rambling again. So, yeah, that's been my last few weeks. I'm at a moment mentally where I have so many ideas that I'm excited about, but I'm overwhelmed with how many ideas I have that I'm excited to do. So yeah, I'm just trying to take that slowly. Pardon me, which is also why I wanted to at least film and have this first video of like a, hey guys, it's 2025, kill me, before I really get back into the content, you know, because like I said, there's a few videos to do with health stuff I want to film to be able to put out, but also I have so many media related ideas because there's so many things coming out early in 2025 that I want to talk about. And yeah, again, that's another thing that you have to think about when you're a chronically ill person. I need, you know, YouTube and my art business to be my job because I can't, like, nobody else will fit their stuff around me, right? I need to be able to sustain myself in some way, and I don't want to do something I don't enjoy. And I do love making my videos, and I do love making my art and stuff and such forth. And I can't remember what my point was again. I think that's the thing as well. I've been so stressed and hypervigilant that my memory has gotten pretty bad recently. So I'm hoping that, yeah, like I said, alleviating some of this stress and work onto other people will help with that as well, because that gets in the way of all aspects of my life. Yeah, I can't remember what my point was, so I'm just gonna say goodbye now. Yeah, don't forget that you also unfortunately have a large role now in helping small creators to succeed. The algorithm is not kind. Even though there have apparently been some changes, but it only seems to be kind to new accounts. I don't think they mean small accounts, I think they mean new. So whilst I'm a small account, I'm not new by any means, unfortunately. So I don't know if that will be any benefit to me at all. So if you like my videos and you like me talking about stuff, please leave a like on the video, on any of my videos you watch or any of my community posts. Please leave comments, share the videos, share, you know, whatever. If you're following me on other social media, sharing the promotional posts helps as well. Watching my videos is, like I said, we're trying to do the watch time thing. So watching my videos helps a lot. You can always start with the last video I did for 2024, which was talking about audiobooks, which I don't do very often, but I do like to read and listen to audiobooks. So if you would like any more bookish content, go to that video and let me know. Also, yeah, the sun has completely set now and I am a ghost. And yeah, there's probably other things, but I can't think anymore. So I am going to go now and go and take my painkillers. I was gonna say my painkills. Same. I'm gonna go take my painkillers maybe do a little video call if my friend is still up for it, because I was too busy watching the first season of Squid Games. Anyway, see you next week. Bye.